Reach me today at Freedom Village, USA, Lakemont, New York, 14857. That's Freedom Village, USA, Lakemont, New York, 14857. In Canada, Post Office Box 1178, St. Catharines, Ontario, L2R 7A7. You'll not want to miss tomorrow's program. Be with us. Bye-bye.
This vital, life-changing ministry to teens is made possible solely by the financial gifts of those of you who are dedicated to seeing our young people have a chance to change their lives.
Make a person-to-person call for answers to your questions about Erie County. Call Dennis Gorski on the executive line, the first Monday of each month on nearly noon.
It started with a letter to News Center 2's Barry Lillis from a parent fighting to save her child from drugs.
We can fix bones, we can fix hearts, but we can't fix chemical dependency with kids, not with a public facility. There is none.
So Barry spearheaded the Kids Escaping Drugs campaign to raise building funds for a children's rehab center. First, a 34-station radiothon, and now TV2's Kids Escaping Drugs telethon, Sunday, April 17th at 2. Help Barry help kids escaping drugs for kids' sake.
Sharing the gift of time with children starts at home, one-on-one between you and your children. Maybe you walk to school or to work together. Maybe you talk about the day's events over dinner. Maybe you share a hobby or a sport together.
We listen to music together.
Heavy metal.
Light plastic.
Well, whatever you like to do it with the kids in your life. Share the gift of time. You know what time it is?
Yeah. Time to go.
Don't miss the trials and tribulations of Perry Mason, Sunday nights at 11:30 on TV2.
I figured, I don't need a high school diploma.
Will our school system make America a second-rate nation?
This is a survival issue for our country.
How can we compete when too many students either don't finish high school in this country or graduate with no skills? I'm Tom Brokaw. A three-part report on this problem begins tomorrow on NBC Nightly News.
So she deserts her family for a guy who owns a broken-down ski lodge. She gives him her huge inheritance, then finds out he's fooling around. She wants her money back. Then she's found dead in the snow. The guy claims it was a heart attack. A heart attack!
It's only a TV show.
It's more than that. It's Superior Court.
Experience it. Superior Court.
Courtroom drama, weekdays at 12:30 on TV2.
On Magnum.
We're talking about a grown man seducing a 17-year-old girl.
A traumatized, unwed mother.
Donald stole my little boy.
And a vicious kidnapping plot.
If you know something, you have to tell us.
I don't.
Lead Thomas to question his own client.
Jesse.
There's no baby, just a lonely girl's fantasy.
Thought he was my son.
Black Market Babies for Sale on Magnum.
Look out for Magnum, Monday at 4 on TV2.
Your gift of blood is not in vain. Call the Red Cross today, for kids' sake.
As Barry Lillis walks across Western New York for kids escaping drugs, News Center 2 will be there to cover your town. Over 40 schools will join forces to form the Kids Walking Out on Drugs Network. Watch their daily progress live starting Monday, April 11th on News Center 2 at 5 and 6 p.m. Help Barry help kids escaping drugs for kids' sake.
Truth is beauty, beauty, truth. I'm Tony Randall. It's important that you introduce your child to the beauty of words by reading to him daily. So drop everything and read. You'll be sharing a story and sparking a love for reading that will last a lifetime. It's never too early, and it's never too late.
Drop everything and read for kids' sake.
Call for a News Center 2 weather update at 844-2222.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Probe. Hello, I'm Stan Coleman. Hardly a day goes by that you don't hear something on a news broadcast or read something in the newspaper about AIDS. By now, you would think that most of us have a clear picture of the effects of this killer disease. But the truth is that the picture of the impact of AIDS is as murky as ever. If you were asked to describe the typical AIDS patient, you would likely envision a white male homosexual. But the fact is that almost 40% of the AIDS cases reported this year to the Center for Disease Control are minority, blacks and Hispanics. And according to the director of the Substance Intervention Unit at the Erie County Medical Center, Dr. Nathaniel Webster, the mode of transmission, more often than not, is drug abuse.
Did you look into it any? Dr. Webster, you come in contact with patients who have contracted AIDS. What is the picture that you are seeing, particularly with respect to blacks and Hispanics?
Well, the AIDS patients that I do come in contact are primarily those who have a substance abuse problem as well. And we have identified that intravenous injection is a mode of transmission of the AIDS virus. As far as the ethnic groups that we encounter, the breakdown is probably about 3-to-1 minority over non-minority groups.
How do you account for this?
Well, there's considerable discussion throughout the country as to why minorities seem to show a higher incidence of AIDS infection. And we have brought forth some generalizations that we feel are probably related to the cultural pattern, the economic status, the accessibility to medical care, the socioeconomic status of the individual, as they contribute to the transmission of the disease. And this is true for any disease, for that matter. Minority groups, usually in an urban area where we see the highest incidence, for instance, New York City, and most of the metropolitan areas have the highest incidence per se. And in these areas, crowded living conditions, low economic status, and poor nutritional status are commonplace among that population.
Here in your position as the director of the Substance Intervention Unit, you get more than just a local picture. You get a statewide picture. How is that?
Well, some of the people who are admitted to Erie County Medical Center are from the prison system, and their original location may be from outside the area. The AIDS population is treated here takes in those that come from the local community as well as those who come from outside the community.
What are you seeing locally and from other areas? How do they compare?
Mostly men, and the females that we see who have contracted disease have, in many cases, been contacts of those persons who have had the disease, who may not be involved in the direct mode of transmission themselves, say, for instance, intravenous drug abuse. We have noticed in the populations that contact the disease, in reviewing some of the statistical information from the AIDS surveillance, that the common factor that is most prominent in this area, as well as in New York City, is IV drug abuse rather than homosexual contact.
Now, everyone has been talking about AIDS and talking about AIDS, so why are we seeing these disproportionate numbers in the minority community if the word has been going out all this time?
Well, AIDS prevention has a lot to do with behavior modification, or modification of behavior patterns. And it's been documented that the behavior pattern in those sexually transmitted patterns for the same sex has greatly diminished since the announcement that AIDS was becoming a problem. But those associated with the transmission of the disease by intravenous drug use has not shown the same behavior change. Drug use itself is associated with compulsive behavior patterns, and those compulsive behavior patterns have not changed much in that population.
Dr. Webster points out that the problem with educating minorities to the unusually high incidence of AIDS among their populations is that AIDS is being perceived as a whites-only disease. When we come back, we will see that nothing is further from the truth.